The Second World War was a global conflict that engulfed the world from 1939 to 1945. It was a war unlike any other, with fighting taking place across multiple continents and oceans. Millions of soldiers and civilians were caught in the crossfire, and the horrors of this conflict left an indelible mark on human history. The war's roots can be traced back to the aftermath of the First World War. The Treaty of Versailles, which officially ended the Great War, imposed harsh penalties on Germany. These penalties, coupled with the devastating economic conditions of the 1930s, created a breeding ground for resentment and nationalism. In this tumultuous environment, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power in Germany. Hitler's ideology, which espoused racial purity and German dominance, found fertile ground among a disillusioned populace. Driven by a desire for revenge and territorial expansion, Germany embarked on a campaign of aggression that would plunge the world into war. The Second World War officially began on September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland. This act of aggression triggered a chain reaction, as Great Britain and France, bound by treaties to defend Poland, declared war on Germany. The world watched in horror as Europe once again descended into chaos. One of the key battles of the early war was the Battle of Britain, a fierce air campaign fought over the skies of England in 1940. The German Luftwaffe, hoping to cripple the Royal Air Force and pave the way for a land invasion, launched relentless bombing raids on British cities. However, the courage and resilience of the British people, coupled with the tactical superiority of the RAF, ultimately prevailed. Another turning point in the war came with the Battle of Stalingrad, a brutal and protracted struggle for control of the strategically important city of Stalingrad in the Soviet Union. The battle, which raged for months, saw some of the fiercest fighting of the entire war. Ultimately, the Soviet Red Army, despite suffering heavy casualties, emerged victorious, marking a turning point in the war's Eastern Front. The Second World War was a conflict shaped by the decisions and actions of numerous leaders, both on and off the battlefield. These figures, driven by a complex interplay of ideology, ambition and circumstance, left an indelible mark on the course of the war. Adolf Hitler, the dictator of Nazi Germany, was the driving force behind the war's outbreak. His fanatical belief in German supremacy, coupled with his ruthless ambition, led him to unleash a conflict that would consume millions of lives. On the Allied side, Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, emerged as a towering figure of defiance. Churchill's unwavering resolve and stirring speeches rallied the British people during their darkest hour. In the United States, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, initially hesitant to involve his nation in another global conflict, provided crucial leadership and resources to the Allied cause. The Second World War was a watershed moment in human history, its impact reverberating across the globe long after the guns fell silent. The war's end in 1945 marked the beginning of a new era, one characterized by profound political, social, and technological transformations. The conflict resulted in an estimated 40 to 85 million fatalities, leaving countless others wounded, displaced, or traumatized. The war also led to the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as the world's two superpowers, ushering in an era of Cold War rivalry that would shape global politics for decades to come. The horrors of the war, particularly the Holocaust, also led to a renewed emphasis on international cooperation and the creation of institutions like the United Nations, dedicated to preventing future atrocities and promoting peace. The Second World War was a conflict that tested the limits of human endurance and forever altered the course of history. Its legacy continues to shape the world we live in today, serving as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked aggression and the importance of striving for a more peaceful and just world.